Okay, we are going live, and it is good to see everybody here tonight. It's great to have you with us. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, buddy. Hope she's doing well. That's the important thing. But we are cranking up here, and we are connecting to YouTube, and we are good to go. And we're going to get started. I just want to make sure I've got the screen up on my. Let's make sure it's switching real quick. Yes, it is. And it's good to see everybody here this evening. We're gonna talk about something pretty cool tonight. We're going to share. I talked to you last week about going out and setting up chambers of commerce, and it was. I had a chance to fly to North Carolina last week. I was broadcasting from North Carolina last week from the hotel room, and it was a great experience getting away from the hometown crowd and going out and talking to new crowds, new faces, new people. It was really, really cool. And it was amazing at what happened in that training. So we're going to talk about that tonight, and I'm going to talk to you about how to go about setting up these meetings. Excuse me, where you have great success, and where you can fill the rooms, and where people will come and just know that this meeting took 2.5 months, almost 3 full months, to set up the entire process. It was a full 4 days, Monday, actually 3 full days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I left on Thursday morning at 6 o'clock. So, a couple of months, 2.5 months to set up an entire 3 day process. And it was quite full. It was nonstop from 5 in the morning till midnight, 1 o'clock at night. But it was extremely productive, and it brought in a lot of sales, and it was really just amazing at what went on. So we're going to talk about that tonight. I'm going to share some slides with you, and I'm going to talk to you about what this person did. Her name is Reese Sutton. I'm going to talk to you about what she did. I met with her for about 4 hours, and talked about the general area and what was going on, and what her feeling was before we got into it. And then after the meetings, we sat down after dinner, and I said, how did you do this? What did you do to make this happen? And so she told me, and I took notes. And so tonight, and it's not difficult. It's not difficult. You just have to do it. And let me go ahead and preface this training now. If you think you're going to do this sitting at home making phone calls, you're totally wrong. You can't do this making phone calls. It's about getting out, shaking hands, kissing babies, and putting this whole thing together. The one thing that I've taught from day one, and it's the only way I know how to sell. I don't know how other people sell, but this is the only way I know how to do it. This is what I did in North Carolina. And it's funny. People say, well, it doesn't work here. Well, I'm from Dallas, Texas. And of course, everybody wanted me to talk, hey, let me hear your accent. Let me hear your accent. But but I did the same thing there that I do here. And you know what was amazing? It was no different. Sales are sales if you go out and do it. I don't care what you're selling, where you're selling it, or how you're selling it. Now, yeah, we're both kind of in the South, and I know that sometimes going up north and selling is just a little bit different, but it's not really different. It's just the way we talk, right? I mean, words we say sometimes down south, they don't understand in the north, and words they say in the north, sometimes we don't understand in the south. I've got a friend in New York that calls me all the time. He says, hey, man, he said, what you doing? I said, nothing. What are you doing? I said, I'm busy right now. He said, I just want to hear you talk for about 10 minutes, because he said, I learn new words every time I listen to you. So, sometimes there may be, even in the States, depending on where you're at, just a little bit of a language barrier. But sales are sales, and getting out, making it happen, and doing it. Hang on just one second. And so somebody can't get in. Not sure why. But sales are sales, period. In a conversation, it's no different where you're at than where I'm at. Okay. I just proved it. I went 1,200 miles and sales were the same. All right. We closed about 40 deals, probably going to get probably 60 out of the whole thing in 3 days. All right. And we did talk to large groups. So that really helped. But sales are sales. So when someone calls me, especially now that I've went to a complete different area and did the same thing I did here and it works, that's going to be my response is go out and sell. But welcome to tonight. Real quick, some housekeeping. If you have not joined our Facebook group, go to facebook.com/groups/AWS Mastermind. Also, if you have not joined our Appwizard Studio YouTube channel, we also broadcast live on appwizardstudio.com and youtube.com and under the Appwizard Studio channel. Real quick disclaimer, Appwizard Studio nor I can guarantee just because you are watching training, you will make any sales, create any traffic, or increase your income. Every person is different, has different work ethics and different desires. And, I was talking to somebody today, and I just want to cover that last part. Every person is different, has different work ethics and different desires. I was speaking to probably one of the most successful sales reps that we have in Appwizard Studio. And he said, Kerry, he said, why do you think other people aren't successful? And I said, I don't know. I said, let me ask you that question. He said, I have a lot of people call me and ask me what I do. And he literally gets up, hits the ground running every day, goes out and makes a bunch of sales, comes home. Sometimes he's home by 2:00. Sometimes he's home by noon. Sometimes he's home by 7 at night. But he goes out every day and does the same thing. And he said, I just don't think anybody leaves the house. He said, because I go out every day and I have for the last 6 years and I continue to make sales. So it really falls to that last part. Every person has different work ethics. Every person is different and every person has different desires. So, if you're not making sales, you just have to ask yourself why. Setting up a chamber meeting. I put this picture on here because this lady is the one that did all this. So if you think that I went out with a 28-year-old on fire, make it happen, get up and go, fired up salesperson, I actually went out with this lady, and she's extremely successful in her life. She doesn't need to be doing this, but she's always wanted to do something like this. So she's out selling mobile apps. Amazing, right? And her name is Reese Sutton. If you've ever eaten peanut butter in the last 20 years, her family probably packed it. She's known as the peanut butter queen of North Carolina. And but she set all this up. She did all this. She went out to the chambers. She went out and hit the streets. She went out and beat the market. She went out and talked to businesses. She went out and invited them face to face to come to the meeting, which happened to have been in Elizabethtown, the largest chamber meeting they had ever had. Okay. She didn't sit at home. She didn't sit on the phone. She got in her car. She drove to Elizabethtown, which is about 10 miles away. And she made sure that every single person knew that we were going to have this meeting that day. All right. She had a couple of motivations. One, she was bringing somebody in 1,200 miles to speak to them. So she wanted to make sure the room was full. Okay. Because she had put so much work into it. She wanted to make sure that it paid off when someone came there. Secondly, her dream in life is to help other businesses succeed. That is her goal. That's her bottom line dream. It's not about the money, even though she makes great money doing this and doing what she just did. It's all about her dream of helping other people. So everybody's motivated for different reasons, but the outcome is always still the same at the end, right? Is making money. All right. I mean, she still wants to make money on her own. She still wants to do the things she does. And she was absolutely the most gracious, unbelievable host of any place I've ever been. You have to make sure you do your research. She said the first thing she did when she started doing this was she started doing her research. She wanted to see who were members of the chamber and who were not members of the chamber. She wanted to reach out to both because she wanted to make this a collective thing for the city. not just chamber members, because the Chamber of Commerce was going to let the chamber members know what was going on. But she wanted to make sure she went out to the non-chamber members and invited every single person in the town. All right. They had a nice meal at this meeting, baked chicken and pie and potatoes and green beans and rolls. And I mean, it was just really super nice. But she made sure she did her research, and she made sure every I and every I was dotted and every T was crossed. She made sure she did everything right, and she made sure she talked to the right people. Okay. The first thing she did is she went into the chamber sites. All right. This happens to be the chamber site in my hometown. So if you're looking there, and I don't know what year that probably was, it had to have been in the 50s. Okay. That was my hometown in the 50s, which used to be booming. This my little town used to be booming. Really, we got Walmart and a couple of big box stores, and that's about it anymore. Okay. But this was a look at the past, but this is our chamber site. That's the first place you need to go, is to get information. You can find all the businesses on that chamber site. Usually they have a list of chamber members on that site. Okay. Chamber of Commerce happens to be updating their site. So their membership link isn't active right now. But this is Greenville, Texas, right next door. They've got a business directory search. How many of you know what businesses happen to be in the Chamber of Commerce business directory? Anybody have a clue what businesses would be listed in the Chamber of business directory? Yes, that's absolutely correct. Give me 1 second. Try to help somebody get in the training tonight. So anyway, go to the business directory, and you can find the businesses that are members of that Chamber of Commerce. This is very important that you go out and meet these people. I truly believe that the first thing any business owner should do is walk out and go store to store to every business in that town and introduce yourself. Don't walk in and try to sell anything. You're there for a meet and greet and to let them know what you do. Okay. That's exactly what you should be doing. Everybody in your town, everybody in the surrounding towns should know who you are and know what you do. Every single person in these, I went to 3 different towns. Every single person before I even got there knew who I was, what I did, and what I was there for. And then after I got there, the one thing that I wanted to do is the same thing that I do here. I wanted to go out and meet and greet people. I wanted to go out and spend time with the business owners. I wanted to go out and talk to them about what was going on in their business. Just exactly like I tell you guys to do. I walk in, and what's the first thing I always ask when I walk into a business and I meet a business owner? Can anybody type that in the box? What's the first thing I always ask when I walk into a business? Okay, when I walk into a business, and what's the first thing that I ask a business owner? Absolutely. How's business? How's business? And I didn't do anything any different there. Okay. I walked in and said, how's business? You have a whole list of businesses that you know exactly who they are by going to the chamber site. All right. Some of the chambers list the members' names. Some of the chambers don't. But go in and introduce yourself. Go in and make yourself available. You can see here, this is Advertising and Media, Jan's Hallmark Shop, Greenville Web Design, Office Solutions, iMark Brand LLC. And they're on and on and on. It's got their phone numbers here. It's got their address here. You know exactly where they're at. It's got a map on there. All you got to do is click on the map and take you right where you're going to go, right? The next thing you need to do after you go out and you start doing all your prep, and you start knowing what's going on, and you know the city, and you've got the right answers for when you walk into the chamber, this is extremely important. Do they have a presentation room? Okay. This place here happened to use the farmer's market, which is an indoor market. This was almost like a huge garage. Okay. And this business right here catered the event. This was almost like a big garage. And the chamber didn't have a meeting room. This is where they meet. Okay. Now, the Chamber of Commerce in Wilmington that I went to, it was a brand new building right on the river. It was absolutely gorgeous. They had latest state of the art everything, and they had a very nice a business room. So do they have a presentation room? That's extremely important for you to know if they have a presentation room, because you need to know what you need to bring. Now, I went full bore, but before I got there, I wanted to make sure two things. I wanted to make sure they had a big screen TV that I could HDMI cable into and put my presentation on the wall. Okay, that's the one thing I needed to know. And if they did not, the one thing I asked them to do, the people that were putting on the presentation, was to make sure that I had a TV big enough for people to see that I could HDMI my computers into. All right. I did a nice PowerPoint presentation. I put all that stuff together so that when I got there, I had everything to do. But if they didn't have a presentation room, then I had to make sure that we had a place. Or you have to make sure when you go out that you have a place. You might have to use a hotel conference room. You may have to do something like that. Okay. And we're going to talk about that in just a moment. Okay. Do you have to join the chamber? Do you have to join the chamber? This is huge. You could go to multiple chambers. Okay. You could go to multiple chambers. And if you have to spend $500 to $750 to join all those chambers to give a presentation, you're better off going out, meeting and greeting, and setting up these presentations at a Holiday Inn or something like that. Someplace that's got a nice presentation room. Okay. Those are usually maybe $100 to $150. All right. And now this is what some of you are going to say, and people that are listening. Wow, gosh, Gary, that's $150. Guys, we're going to turn about anywhere from $16,000 to $20,000 off of 3 days of work. Is it worth $150? We talked about risk reward not too long ago. Is it worth $150 or $500 to turn that into $16,000 to $20,000? Is that worth that? Is that risk? Absolutely, it is. So make sure if you have to join the chamber or not. And there's ways to get around join the chamber. This is the person you need to speak to, the event coordinator. You don't need to talk to the president of the chamber. You don't need to talk to any of those other people, because they're going to send you to this person. The event coordinator coordinates every single thing for the chamber. That's her job or his job. That's what they do. They're the ones that you have to put in your hip pocket and make sure that they know who you are, and you need to make sure you know who they are. Okay? What's their personality? I was I was extremely fortunate. Okay? The event coordinators that I met were absolutely thrilled that someone would take time to come in and teach their businesses what we taught them. We didn't sell them anything, and we'll get to that in a minute. But you need to make sure you talk to the event coordinator. When you walk into the chamber, don't ask, who do I need to talk to set up an event? Ask for the event coordinator. That's what they're called. That's what they do, okay? And that's who they are, all right? Who sets up the events? Who brings in speakers? Who's that person that I need to speak to, okay? You have to bring value to the members and the chamber, not a sales speech. The one thing that I made sure that was put out is that I'm not coming to North Carolina to sell anyone anything. I want to come teach the small to medium businesses what they need in today's technological market to increase their sales, increase footfall, and have a great return on investment for their marketing dollars. The response to that was amazing. The first thing that they told us when we got there was, now we were told, Carrie, that you were going to come in and bring value, that you were going to teach these things, and that you were going to share these things. And I said, that's absolutely correct. I said, we're not going to sell you anything. That's not what I'm here for. Okay. Let me tell you, you can make more sales by not selling than you can any other way you will ever do a presentation, because you will learn that they want what you have. You will learn that they want what you're talking about. They are hungry. I've never seen people so hungry for information in all my life. It was absolutely amazing. Okay. I mean, it was mind boggling. I've done presentations at chambers before. I've sold business cards all over my town talking to chamber members, but nothing ever like this, where the room was totally captivated because they were being educated. Okay. They were being educated. Can you have access to the list? You need to ask this question before you go in. Okay. Before you go in and talk to these people, you have to be prepared. They don't necessarily want you there because you're not a chamber member, and they don't want you selling things to their chamber members without their permission. Okay. So they've got their guard up a little bit. So you need to go in there and you need to make sure they understand who you are, what you're there for, and how you're doing it. You're not there to sell anything. You're there to educate the chamber members and the business owners how to increase their sales and how to keep the doors open. All right. Trade your value. And this is where you do this. Okay. Trade your value for a list and how you want to promote the chamber to non-chamber members. How do you do that? Dawn happened to be the girl that set up Elizabethtown, which was, I mean, I'm telling you, it was amazing. She did a great job. And one thing that we told her is, hey, we don't want just your chamber members there. We want everybody in the town, because we want to promote your chamber and what you do for your community to help businesses grow. That lit them up. What are chambers in business? What are chambers in business to do? They make money so that they can provide things for the city, things for the residents, things for people coming into town, guests, visitors. That's what a chamber of commerce does. It takes a lot of money to run a chamber of commerce. They've got full-time employees. So they have to constantly bring in what? New chamber members. You're there as an ambassador for the Chamber of Commerce. You're there as their ambassador and goodwill to help them recruit by bringing them value, great service, and teach their members and non-members what they need to do to increase their business, raise their awareness, and reach out to the community. What did I teach on? I'll get to that here in just a minute. Remind me that at the end of the presentation tonight. Do they have regular meetings? Do they have regular meetings? Some chambers, and I didn't realize this, our chamber here has a meeting once a month. Some chambers don't have regular meetings. They only have meetings when something comes up. This town was only about 5,000 people. Right, this town here. Now, some people came in from the outer banks of the town, okay? But this town was only 5,000 people, and 52 business owners were there. So when you talk to them, ask them, do they have regular meetings? Is there a time you meet regularly? Because you don't want to schedule this, and I'm going to tell you, you do not want to schedule this on a non-regular meeting moment. It's 10 times harder to get people there, and the chamber is not going to promote it the way you want them to promote it, that a special guest is coming to speak to the chamber meeting. So don't say, well, we can come anytime. You don't want to go anytime, because you're going to waste your money, you're going to waste your time, and you're going to waste your energy. All right. Does everybody understand that? If you cannot get in on a regular chamber meeting, a time when everybody's going to be there, go out and set up one independently, okay? And then ask the chamber if they will promote it, because you're going to have this meeting and you'd like to help promote the chamber during this meeting for the non-members, All right. How do you know who's in the chamber? Remember that list I showed you earlier? Go there. Now, maybe you've already sold to some people in your town. I hope you've sold to 50% of the people in your town. Maybe you've already sold to people in your town. Okay. And they're members of the Chamber of Commerce. That is your best in the door strategy, period, by far, of who you need to talk to get into that chamber. You can go in as their guest speaker. Okay. They can bring you in and you won't have to pay any chamber dues. You cannot, I'm going to tell you now, the chamber dues are usually expensive. Some of you are probably members of the Chambers of Commerce in your own hometown. Okay. Member dues can be anywhere from $300 to $500 to $1,000 a year. So if that's the case, you cannot go out and do that in 5 or 6 cities. Okay. You can't, especially if you're just trying to grow your business, if you're trying to get your name out there. So work with a customer, someone that you've built rapport with, someone that you like and love and care for, and you're helping them grow their business, and they like, love, and care for you because you're helping them grow their business. And so stick with them, okay? And let them know what you want to do. You never know. They may sit on the board. You don't never know who you're talking to unless you ask. If you're sitting in your customer store and he's got a Chamber of Commerce plaque on his window or on his wall, and it says 2019 on it, guess what? He's a current member of the chamber. Or if it says 2018, he probably just hasn't got his 2019 plaque yet, and he's probably still a current member of the chamber. And you need to ask that question. Hey, William, are you a member of the Chamber of Commerce here in town? Yeah, I am. Man, I tell you what, I would really like your help. No problem, Kerry. I'll give you whatever you want, man. You're here for me all the time. I want to get in and do a presentation for you, this entire city, okay, to all the chamber and non-chamber members on how to grow your business, how to retain customers, and how to bring customers back in. Not only that, how to expand your sales online. And I want to teach that. They don't really like people selling, Kerry. I'm not going to sell anything. Matter of fact, I'll preface the entire meeting before I get on stage that I am not here to sell you anything. Okay? Now, they know you are, but you just told them you're not, right? Do they have a speaker slot? Some chambers, whether it be once a quarter or twice a year, 3 times a year, whatever, okay, they will have a speaker slot. All right? They will have a speaker slot. So go to that speaker, tell them you'd love to sign up for that slot. Make sure you have an outline of your presentation. This is what we had to give them, okay? We had to give them a complete outline of what I was doing. I had to give them a bio of myself, and we told them exactly what we were going to be talking about in the order that we were going to be talking about it. And they took that and they made a flyer and they sent it out to all the businesses. They want to make sure that you're not coming in there to do a pitch fest. And we did it. Okay. So the speaker slot, if they have one, are usually big draws because people want to learn from outside people. Most of the meetings are guys sitting around and gals sitting around, you know, talking about how their business sucks. But they're bringing somebody in now to teach them how to grow their business. And let me tell you what was really cool about this particular town. They started a deal teaching people that they needed to market. That's one thing that made this so cool. They started a deal teaching businesses, and they brought in a financial consultant to teach them how to put back marketing dollars to continue to grow their business. And they had done this about 3 months ago when Ree had started putting together this program. So it was really perfect timing. All the meetings went very well. We did sales in 3 different places. It went very well. But this one just happened to be like if you had a premiere that everything just fell into place perfectly, you know. Wilmington, when we did the one in Wilmington, it was awesome. It was awesome. We had a full room. There was 40 plus people there. Great, beautiful facility. It was standing room only. But this one particular place, Elizabethtown, North Carolina, was just absolutely the way she put it together and the way she worked the town. And she did Wilmington the same way. But here's the difference. Wilmington's a very large city. Wilmington it's not going to be long. Wilmington will probably be one of the largest cities in North Carolina. Okay. So it was a little bit different. The working the business areas around, and it was a little more spread out. So because she worked this one so hard, she didn't quite have as much time to work the Wilmington one. But we still had a great crowd, and we did have a speaker slot in Wilmington also. Do your homework and know the area and know the market. I'm going to tell you something that's pretty cool, especially if you're in a town where you're new. Okay, you're kind of like a celebrity because you're in town. You speak different than everybody else. You've got an accent, and I must have took this was at an IHOP, and I made sure I met everybody in that IHOP. I literally shook every person's hand that I could possibly shake, and I don't like shaking hands because I don't like getting sick. But I shook people's hands, and I took probably 5,000 pictures and videos everywhere I went. And this was the workers there at the IHOP. And we just had a good time. I mean, you can see everybody's happy, everybody's smiling. We just made just a big time out of it. And if you'll do that, this is what happens. Okay. When we had the meeting that day in Elizabethtown, we went out to eat at an Italian restaurant that night. And I happened to do a Facebook Live from that Italian restaurant. Some of the people in the Italian restaurant knew what I was doing there in that town. Okay, it was obvious I'm the new guy, right? 5,000 people in the town. You walk into a town like that, you're the new guy. And everybody kind of knew why I was there. And so I did a Facebook Live with it in that restaurant. Okay. And it was really, really, really cool. And so people started like, wow, man, what's going on? So they started doing what? Started asking questions, and then we had people come up and say, hey, man, we heard you were in town today, man. We sure hope you come back. We'd love to hear what you had to say. We'd love to see what you've got to help businesses. So if you get yourself out there, and trust me, guys, it wasn't an easy task. I mean, we were having fun. This was actually the first day at 11 o'clock, right after I landed. We were out doing meet and greets in the town. And I was fresh. By the second night, I was dead because we literally went about 18 hours a day. And that's what it takes. That's what it takes to build your business to where you want it to go. So, but do your homework, know the area and know the market. How do you do that? You go out and talk to people. I wanted to talk to employees. I wanted to see what business was really like. I wanted to see what business was really like. I have a bunch of shots in a pizza place that I went where I literally talked to every employee in that pizza shop because I wanted to see what business was like. Because this lady had asked Reed when I get to town to bring me to their pizza shop that they wanted to talk to me. And I spent 5 hours there. It's people are hungry for people with knowledge. Everybody on this call is an expert. How many of you think you're an expert on this call? Does anybody here not believe that you're an expert? That if we sat down and talked, that you could probably spit this stuff out in seconds and know exactly what you're talking about, but you kind of don't realize you know it unless you started talking about it? Everybody on this call is experts, and people want to do what? They want to learn from the experts. They want to learn from the people that know. Okay? You are an expert in this field, whether you believe it or not. You know everything there is to know, but sitting on your butt at the house or sitting on your butt behind the desk is not getting the information out to the people that really need it. You already know it. You don't need to learn it anymore. You need to take the information that you have and go disseminate it amongst the others, okay, in the city and the other business owners, and not only the business owners, but the employees. And you need to talk to everybody. And they have to understand and learn that you are the expert, okay? So know your market, do your homework, know where the business centers are, know what the football teams are doing, know that they won a championship or they've lost every game for the last 20 years. Know that information. Be a part of their city. Be a part of their growth. Be a part of what they're doing. Know the area and know your market. And is there a hotel convenient to the Chamber of Commerce facility? Okay. This happened to be the hotel that they put me in when I got there. Okay, this was the lobby. My room was as big as my house, and it was so cool. It was really nice. But you know what was really cool? Now, Wilmington, I stayed in the center of everywhere we worked. Okay. So I was about 40 to 60 miles from everywhere where we worked. That's the reason the days were so long. But I happened to be flying out of Wilmington. So we put this center in Wilmington and we worked the outer areas about a 60-mile radius. So if you're going to do that, make sure if you're going to go cover 2 or 3 areas in a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks and you put everything together, make sure you got a hotel that's comfortable, that's nice, and spend $400 or $500 for a nice room, because I'm going to tell you, you're going to need it. You know, it's kind of hard to stay in a Motel 6, and that's what we kind of tend to want to do. We want to do it the cheap way. But if you do it that way, you're not going to get any rest. And when you're doing this and you're on fire, and I hope everybody on this call and everybody listening to this call goes out and does this, because it's going to change your business and it's going to change who you are in your communities. You know, if you're at your local chamber, that's great. Get away from your local chamber. Get away from your local town. Go out to the, draw a 60 to 100-mile radius around your business, because I can tell you, nobody is out doing what you're doing anywhere. I cannot tell you how many times I asked, man, what about competition? Oh my gosh, what about competition? What do I do about competition? Who gives a crap about competition? You have none. You want me to tell you how I know you don't have any? Because nobody's out doing what you're doing. Nobody. You may have a couple of guys walking around, knocking on doors, trying to sell some high-dollar package that most businesses can't afford, and they're going to go out and sell 5 or 6 of them, and they're going to quit. Hey, if that's your competition, then you got serious problems. The only competition you need is yourself. Compete against yourself. Stack your level of what you did today against what the level that you do tomorrow. Compete against yourself and get better and better against yourself. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Go out and do this, and go out and meet and greet and shake hands and kiss babies. You know, I don't care for politicians too much. You know, I mean, there's a few of them that I've liked over my lifetime, but for the most part, but in this instance, you have to be the greatest politician of anybody out there. People want you to shake their hands. People want to talk to you. People want to share with you. People want to watch you. People want to listen to you. Okay. How do I know that? I just did it. You know, I always tell you guys, I'll never teach you anything that I didn't do myself. If you're familiar with the area, make a list of people you know, members of chamber. This happens to be, this was probably one of the biggest home runs that we had while we were there. This is Jada and Michael, and this is Jada's mother, and this is a place called Your Pie. The best pizza I've ever put in my mouth, period. Okay? And we walked in, and this is how gatekeepers are. We walked in, and Ree asked for Jada. What do you think the first thing they told her when she walked in the door? She's not here. But and Ree said, well, could you get a hold of her? And I'd like to talk to her. You know what they told her? She's not coming in today. And then Ree said, well, she's wanting to meet Mr. Miller. He flew in from Texas to see her. Could you at least let her know that he's here? And if she wants to come in, we're going to be here to eat lunch. 10 minutes later, she walked in the door. 5 hours later, we walked out. That's a simple fact. This happens to be a franchise. Okay. She is tied into things that their franchise does that she doesn't like. And talking to the other franchisees, they don't like it either. But they like what we did. And they like the text message marketing and some of the other tools that we brought to the table. They really wanted to do that. So I'm sitting there talking to him, and I said, okay, let's try some of this. She said, we can't. Our hands are tied. I said, how do we get around it? She said, I will hook you up with every single body that's anybody at the home office in Georgia. And she said, I will make sure they listen to you. Guys, that was like handing the goose and the golden platter. I mean, she wants change, and she's a spitfire. And I mean, she's got 4,000 in this town. She's got 4,000 followers organically. Okay. that she went out and built on her own, telling people, knocking on doors, saying, "Hey, we're here. We want you to come eat with us." She built her Facebook page up to 4,000 people. We told her she needed to do Facebook Lives. I think every one of you need to be doing Facebook Lives. Facebook Lives over the last several weeks has really changed my business in a big way, because I used to not do them very often, because I'm on all the time. And I thought, well, I just don't want to talk anymore. But let me tell you what happened. We sat down with her and we said, "Jada, you've got the great personality. You need to do Facebook Lives." Okay. She said, "Oh, man, I can't do that." We said, "Yes, you can. Just do it." She said, "You know what? I'm going to take the challenge. I'm going to do it for 30 days. Her first Facebook Live out of the gate. She was out in the parking lot. She was talking about her surroundings. She was talking about other businesses. She was talking about your pie. She was just talking. And she talked for about 30 minutes. Within an hour, her video was viewed over 1,000 times. Now, do you think that that's going to bring her more business? Do you think that's going to increase her footfall? Absolutely it is. They're not allowed to have a mobile app. They have to use the loyalty rewards program that they have. They don't like the loyalty rewards program they have, and I went up and tried it. It's the same loyalty rewards program that Steak and Shake uses. If you're familiar with Steak and Shake and you use their loyalty rewards program, it's the exact same loyalty rewards program, and it's very difficult to work. It's difficult for the employees to work. So she said, "Can you do us a loyalty rewards program?" I said, "Absolutely." She said, "Can you do coupons for us, mobile coupons?" I said, "Absolutely." She said, "Can you do SMS messaging for us?" I said, "Absolutely." She said, "Can you do this?" And I said, "Absolutely, we can." Why did I say absolutely? Because we can. Okay. Every request she had, we can provide the service. Now, if she'd have said, "Carrie, can you do this?" I'd said, "Absolutely, we can." All right. So they have some of the tools in place, but the company has kind of piecemealed some things together, and they kind of want it all under one umbrella. All right. How did this customer come along? Walking in, meeting and greeting, shaking hands, and sitting down and talk. In the beginning, it was just general conversation. "Hey, how's business?" That's exactly what I asked her. "Hey, Jada, how's business?" "Well, we're doing about $1,900 a day. That's our average." I said, "What do you need to be doing?" She said, "We need to be up somewhere around 27 to 3,000. I said, "How do you want to get there?" She said, "I don't know." She said, "I don't know." She said, "I just want to get it there." She said, "Because we have a great product. We're in a great location." And then we started talking. I had all the information I needed in about 5 minutes. And she was all ears from there on. And we would ask her questions. And I literally set up a camera and I said, "Okay, we're going to do a Facebook Live right now. And I want you to introduce yourself." Okay. And we started sharing it with people in the area. All right. And it started getting views. And it was just really cool because she was able to see. How many of you ever heard me say show and tell, show and sell? Show and tell, show and sell. One of the people that's probably as good at Facebook Lives, walking into a business, into his customers, is Will Sims out in New Mexico. He is great walking in there doing Facebook Lives, introducing the businesses, sharing everybody that's in the room, talking to them, introducing them to the community. It's a great way to get it out there. Facebook is really pushing Facebook Live. They have a thing now called watch parties, where people in the area can literally go in there and do a watch party. Okay. And so when you do a watch party, everybody on your friends list is invited to a watch party. And if that person shares it, everybody on their friends list is invited to a watch party. And they're able to watch the Facebook Live while you're doing it. Okay. So it's really, really cool technology that helps grow a business. We're not just about going out and selling apps, even though that's our main product and that's what we want to sell, because we can lock about 99% of the tools that we're going to sell into that app. Loyalty rewards, coupons, SMS, it's all in the system. Okay. We taught you Facebook Messenger bots here just the other day, about 3 weeks ago. Okay. Some people are using them. Some people aren't. Some people will, some people won't. So what next? That's just the way it is. But you got to get out there and you got to educate these people on what to do. You got to take everything that you learn from those who have done it and go in and implement it. If it doesn't work, I can promise you, I'll tell you it didn't work. I will guarantee you. Ask me if I've tried something, and if it sucked, I will tell you it sucked. It didn't work. Okay. It wasn't any good. I wasn't able to use it. Don't do it. Okay. And or try it. Maybe you can get some use out of it. But you have to know everybody in the area. You have to go out and meet and greet. You have to go out and talk to them. All right. I don't want you to forget this statement. This is the most important statement you will ever have when you walk in and talk to the Chamber of Commerce. If you have a pencil and a piece of paper, or if you need to get a pencil and a piece of paper, I highly recommend that you do it right now. Okay. I highly recommend that you do that. I have a way to help all of your business partners grow their business. We would like to come in and do a presentation for you and your members. Do you have a speaker slot available that I can come in and do that? I have a way to help all of your business partners grow their business. Now, I would love to take credit for that because that's one of the most powerful statements that will ever come out of your mouth. Okay. That's Ree Sutton's, that was her opening line talking to the chamber. I have a way to help all of your business partners grow their business. Do you have a speaker slot available? I would like to bring someone in and teach them how to do just that. It doesn't get any more powerful than that. Okay. And she did it at every place she went. And guess what we were able to do? We were able to go in and do just that. All right. And I won't tell you that we didn't have a great time. I had an absolute phenomenal time while I was there. They threw a birthday party in North Carolina, in a place I didn't even know where we were at. I usually didn't know where we were at anytime we were there, but an amazing birthday party. But you know what? Before I left that birthday party in that restaurant, I had shook and talked to every single person in that room. There's about 30 or 40 people eating at the restaurant. And I made sure I introduced. Why did I do that? One, because they were kind to me, but because I wanted them to know that we were there to help them if they weren't in business. I did not want them to forget why we were really there and what we were actually doing there. And this is what was really cool. The owner's daughter, it was her birthday, and another lady sitting across the way, it was her birthday. So we kind of made a big happy day for everybody out of it, and everybody became a part of it. Okay. It was just so super cool. I mean, just super amazing. And as I always say, keep it simple. Keep it simple. You know, I didn't go in there wearing a suit and tie or all that stuff. Does anybody have any idea? Of course, you probably saw it in the pictures. Anybody have any idea what I was wearing? I wear spotless white tennis shoes. I wear blue jeans, and it was kind of cold there, so I had on a long sleeve shirt with my sleeves rolled up. You know, why did I do that? Because I knew the environment that I would be in. I knew that the majority of people that were coming to that meeting was going to be in what? Blue jeans and shirts. Okay. There was one guy that was there. He was a banker. Okay. He had on slacks and a shirt and a tie. He was the local banker. Everybody else had come from work and was going back to work. It was amazing. Okay. Keep it simple. Any questions at all? Somebody asked a question earlier and I asked you to remind me and I don't remember what it was. Let me roll back here. Yeah, no PJs. No PJs, buddy. I could have. I'll tell you what, by Wednesday afternoon, I was ready for some PJs. I was tired. I think the whole time I was there, I had probably 8 hours sleep and in 3 days, 4 days. Here it is right here. Oh, what did I talk on? Mobile marketing, e-commerce, SMS texting, coupons, and loyalty rewards. That's exactly what I talked on. Had a keyword and a keyword and uh, a short code, the short code and the keyword up on the big teleprompter on the where we had our PowerPoint presenting out. When they walked in, they were directed to the slide so that they could download our business card. And what did I just teach them right then? What did they learn the second they walked in the door that I can promise you nobody else had ever done with them? What did they learn the second they walked in the door? The power of SMS marketing. The power of SMS marketing. Now, you guys remember about, I don't remember how long it's been now, maybe a month ago, three weeks ago or something. I taught you about the e-commerce site, eSwid. Out of this entire program, there was only one person that had an e-commerce site. And I asked this question, and when you're doing these presentations, yeah, that's what I'm fixing to talk about. Well, when you do these presentations, you have to ask questions. And when you ask those questions, you pay attention to the reaction of the room, and they will tell you exactly where to go and what to talk about during your topic. And my simple question was this: how many of you have products sitting in the back of the room that you haven't sold yet? 99% of the room raised their hand. Was about to talk about e-commerce. So where did that take me? When people was telling me they've got product sitting there that they're not getting rid of. Straight into e-commerce, you need to put all that stuff online so you can clear out your space. And square footage there, rent per square footage was somewhere between $1 and $1.50, okay, for a business. And I used this example. I said, if you've got jeans, okay, and they're sitting on a rack, there's going to be about 5 to 6 pair of jeans taking up that space. If you're not selling those jeans and they're $100 jeans, then put them on sale and move them, because that is your profit center. If you've got 5 pairs of jeans taking up 10 square feet, okay, and you're paying $2 a square foot, that's $20, okay? That's $20 that you're paying that's not moving any merchandise. So then we went into the e-commerce site. And then I talked about making sure that their e-commerce site was tied into a what? Their mobile business card. And that they were able to communicate how? Via SMS when people come in and sign up for their SMS, and they can let them know when the sales are, and they can send out coupons. And I went through that entire presentation with them. And people just locked in on it. They could not believe that those things were available for a small to medium business. And that's what blew my mind. Matter of fact, I was talking to Roger Pineda about that. He said, yeah, he said, it's kind of sad. He said, most of the resellers that call me and talk to me don't realize how many businesses don't have that. You know, it's easy to say that, you know what, I've gone out and nobody wants to buy, but you've only gone out once this year. You know, it's easy to say that. But I can promise you, people are hungry for technology. They need it. They want it. They want to get rid of that vintage stuff that's sitting in the back room for the last 20 years. They want to do that. They want to be able to get rid of that. Okay? They want that. And the only way they're going to get it is if you go out and share it with them and show them how to do it. Nobody else is going to do that. Any other questions? But that's exactly what I talked about. Honestly, I talked about the same things that I talk about every single Wednesday night with you guys. And made a bunch of sales. We didn't go there to sell anything. And we sold roughly 40, maybe 45%. And we'll probably pick up another 20% over the next few weeks as they're followed up with. So we're going to walk away with anywhere from 50 to 60%. You know, I mean, and it's kind of nice because you got, It's great to say I closed 50% of my sales and I talk to 6 people a month and I closed 3, or it's great to say I closed 50% and I talked to 150 people, right? What would you rather have? What more floats in your ecosphere? You know, I really like the large crowd, close a bunch, and then go follow up. A ton of leads. I mean, all we got was leads. And the great thing about these is we got lists from every single place we spoke. Lists with emails, phone numbers, addresses, and owners' names. It was really cool. How did we get that? Hey, would you mind if we get a list since we came here and spoke so we can follow up with your businesses since we're concerned with if they grow their business? Oh, absolutely. That's a great idea. We ask. Ask and thou shalt receive. Now, some of them may say, well, we'll give you their names and their phone numbers, or maybe we'll just give you their names and email addresses. They may not give you the whole list. But we were very fortunate. We got everything. Did they pay me to go there? Did who pay me? The chambers? No, the chambers don't pay for speakers. They want you to come in there and speak for free, but you got to take them value. Okay. Your hope is that um, anytime you speak, you hope to get something out of it, right? And of course that was our hope when we went there, is that we were going to get sales, because sales are extremely important. I mean, that's the whole reason we're in business. You know, I just didn't go there to go on vacation. And if it was a vacation, I never want another vacation like that, but I definitely want many more sales days like that. Uh, but no, they don't pay you anything. You go in there and you do all that work and you set everything up, hoping that you're going to get customers out of that. Now, the people that put it on, they didn't pay me to come down there. I made 50%, right? Because they're a sales rep. I made 50% of everything we made. Okay. My company made 50% of everything they made because I pay my sales reps what? I pay them 50%. So they got paid and I got paid and they did all the work, and I paid my plane ticket there, and they paid for everything else. Every meal I ate, the hotel and everything. And that's how I work it with my sales reps. If you want me to come, I'll get there. But when I get there, you need to make sure I'm picked up at the airport and blah, 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 blah. Will I be doing more of these? Yes, I'll be in Tennessee, which is being set up now. And then I'm going to Missouri. I don't know if I'm going to Missouri first and then Tennessee, or Tennessee first and Missouri, but uh, those are being worked out right now. My goal is to do these I'd love to be booked 50 weeks out of the year. And that's one of our strategies this year, is to do more group meetings, educating the business owners in how to increase their footfall and get a greater return on investment for their marketing dollars. That's what we're teaching. Would I do this for you? Yeah, yeah, I would. I want 50%. I want 50% of your sales, and I'll get there and you pay for the hotel and all that stuff. You don't have to put me up in a nice hotel as I went to there, but a La Quinta's fine. That hotel, it was the Embassy Suites, and I stayed on an embassy floor. Trust me. No, I mean, don't spend a lot of money. You don't have to spend a lot of money to do this. You just got to get off your butt and go out and do it. That's the key. It will pay off. It will pay off. Now you got to follow up. And this is the one thing we talked about on Wednesday night, I think it was. Yeah, Wednesday night when we went out to dinner. It's all for naught if you don't follow up. If you don't go out and follow up and these people realize that, hey, you brought this guy in to speak and he's speaking and they never hear from you again, guess what? You're just another salesman that come to town that did not fulfill your promise. That's exactly who you are. And you can't do that. Yes, that's correct. If you wanted me to do this, you would just have to get with me so I can check my schedule, because this is going to be my life this next year. So I just got to make sure I'm available. Yeah, no problem. No, the La Quinta Inn. I don't know what the La Quinta restaurant is. No, the La Quinta Inn. They take dogs. La Quinta will allow you to bring your dog. I didn't take my dog on this trip, and I'm not going to do that anymore. I like taking her with me. And I flew on this trip, and I hate flying, so I will drive the next time. Yeah, Tilly, my little Tilly. All right, guys, any more questions? Anybody going to go out and set up some chamber meetings and go start talking to chambers of commerces and setting up your meetings and going out and doing your presentations? All you need is a laptop, PowerPoint, and put together your presentation. And I knew that question was fixing to pop. That's exactly what I'm fixing to say. No, I won't do your presentation for you, and I'm going to tell you why. You need to do your presentation because you know what's in your mind. You know how you're going to present. You know what you're going to say. If I did your presentation for you and you start flipping through those slides, you'd be lost as a goose because you don't talk like I do, you don't share like I do, and you don't do the things I do. It needs to be your presentation in your style. Don't try to mimic anyone. Don't try to be anyone else. Just be yourself. Absolutely. Be you. Be the best you that you can possibly be, and go out and share your knowledge. Guys, I'm telling you, I could go down the list here because I've talked to almost every single person on the phone. You are experts in what you do, and you have more knowledge than you will ever believe that you have. And you can stand in front of a crowd and do exactly what I did, probably even better than what I did. Okay? Probably even better than what I did. Go in and close 30, 40, 50% of the room. If you got 30 people there, and you walk out with 10 sales, and your average sale is, $300 or $400, you just made $3,000 or $4,000. My average sale, $400. $400. There were some 249s and stuff in there, but the average was about 400. Mobile coupons. This was the question. What exactly did you sell? Mobile, what, right? Mobile first, right? I mean, how many of you heard me say I've been selling mobile business cards since 2012? That's what I always sell first. And then I always upsell from there. Mobile business cards, SMS, texting, okay? SMS texting, coupons, loyalty rewards. I'm really big into e-commerce right now. I want people buying e-commerce. Yes. Some bought some others bought other stuff. I mean, it was a kind of a mixture. Well, as we talked to the people, we kind of put together their package based on what they wanted to do. Absolutely. Anybody else? All right, ladies and gentlemen, Duke. Duke, I hope your wife is feeling better, my friend. Give her our love. Let her know that we're thinking about her. And we wish you all success. Go out and do this. I'm going to tell you, it will change your life if you will take tonight's training and listen to it again and listen to it again and go out and do the things that we just talked about. It will change your business forever. Quit sitting around trying to figure out what should I sell, and go out and sell. That's what you need to do. But everybody have a good evening, good night, and absolutely, dude. Thank you, buddy. And we'll see you guys next Wednesday.